Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to Lamahat Moments with the Quran with Mufti Abdul Rahman, myself, Abdullah. I hope you guys are well. We are in Juz 18. I hope you guys who are joining us are able to find the link on social media. Yesterday, I was able to greet your family and your kids. Today, I greet the parents. How is everyone doing? Everyone's well. Good news is Mufti Abdul Rahman is back. He's back in Michigan, and he is he is and is at home with his family, alhamdulillah. But so yesterday we missed him, and I want you guys to make him feel when he joins that we actually missed him, right? I hope he's not listening. Make him feel that his absence was felt, and so he feels special. And when he is told something like this, you can see his face right away. Starts to get excited and starts blushing. So I want you guys to express that to him. So the last 12 juz, 13 juz remaining, we have him every single night. For even the moment that he joined Surah Maryam, it was impeccable, remarkable, and tantalizing, and from every angle of the explanation of the word Ar-Rahman, beautiful. So it's great to see you guys all. Let me invite. Should we? Let's invite Mufti Abdul Rahman to the screen. Mufti Saab, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam wa rahmatullahi. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good, man. How's everyone else doing?
Welcome back, Mufti Saab. We missed you yesterday, and you were traveling. You were in Arizona, but when I see you in the background, the way I know you are back in Michigan, and it's great to see you and great to be with you. And I hope to see you in person soon. Just what are you wearing? You're wearing nice clothes today too. Every day you're wearing something nice, man.
No, man, it's the same old stuff, man.
You know what it is with you, with this app? You can put on anything and you make those things look good. Not like me. I have to put so much makeup on and stuff. But you, man, you have that God gifted beauty.
Don't you don't wear makeup. Come on, but you're beautiful too. You're beautiful. You're nice. You're kind-hearted. You have a good personality. You're older brother. You're amazing, man. Without you, this world won't be there. Look at you blushing, bro.
So excited for saying that. What's up? Everybody missed you yesterday. Everyone.
No one missed me,
kiddos.
bro.
I'm telling you, I don't know if you did you guys miss Mufti Saab yesterday? Everyone was missing you yesterday. They're missing your poetry. They're missing your knowledge, insight. They missed that turban of yours, the shiny forehead. Missing everything about you, Mufti Saab, where you were gone. And here we are. People let us know we really did. Here we are. Fuad is saying we missed you. Welcome, Bishop from Charleston, West Virginia. These brothers there hosted me when I went to West Virginia for a day. MashaAllah, beautiful community. Sheikh Mustafa Rawash is there with his family. And we have Ali leading Taraweeh there, and I think Abdullah Bati. Alhamdulillah. Here we are, guys. They all missed you. Everybody missed you, Mufti Saab.
We inshallah, Phoenix missed Mufti, mashallah.
You guys had Mufti Saab for like 4 days. This is not acceptable. We can't send you to Phoenix for more than 1 day, 2 days. What is in Phoenix that we don't have, that you keep on going back to Phoenix every Ramadan and spending so many days there every Ramadan?
Come on, but there's a beautiful community there, mashallah. There's Hafiz Yasser is doing some great work at ACA. His brother-in-law Omer is there with him. We have Usman Hamad. You have Dr. Rafat Beg. Mashallah, you have Dr. Mayman. And always hosting us with grace and honor. We have Amr by Asad by Yasser by. We got the whole crew over there, man. And mashallah,
I keep on hearing these beautiful names. I'm gonna have to ask you. You stay here 1 year, and I'll go there.
They're not gonna spend time with you.
Really?
You're too much for them.
No, man. No. I'm just like that on screen, but when I'm in person, I'm such a nice guy. Let's go ahead. Welcome back. We missed you. Everybody on the chat says we missed you. And inshallah, we hope you stay back and your family's fine. Your kids must have been excited to see you.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, they were. I spent some time with them. We're good. Let's get into the 18th juz. We have a lot to speak about, Bajan. Let's get into the 18th juz. You did a great job yesterday alone. Everyone's talking about it. We have the 18th juz. We have Surah Mu'minun, Surah An-Nur, Surah Al-Furqan. Bajan, please start us off with that journey of yours when you start with Surah Anbiya and Hajj. I love what you say about that. Tell us about that. How does that go again, the flow, all the way to Surah Furqan? Bismillah, tell us.
So I don't know. You tell me. I don't remember the whole stuff. That stuff I said last year. The year before.
I remember things you say because I pay attention, not like you know. So, you said like Allah, Surah Al-Anbiya, Allah tells us the stories of the prophets and their sacrifices. And then the next surah is Surah Hajj, where now you make the ultimate sacrifice. You know,
Wajahidu.
وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ. You go in the path of Allah, you do Hajj. And after that, after making that sacrifice, you become Surah Al-Mu'min, you become believers, you start developing the qualities of believers. Once you develop the qualities of believers, you get Surah Al-Nur, you get the Nur of Iman. And once you get the Nur of Iman, you get the next surah is Surah Furqan. Now Furqan means distinction. Now you can distinct between wrong and right. You can make the right choices. You can avoid the wrong decisions. You can have the right priorities. All that comes after the Nur of Iman through the Surah of Furqan. So all these surahs are back to back to back.
Furqan is like the criteria, what's right, what's wrong, and to see the Furqan, to see that, to have the Furqan in you, the ability to see what's right and wrong, you need to have the Nur.
Absolutely.
And to have the Nur, you need to have the Iman.
Absolutely.
And to have the Iman, you have to make the sacrifice. In learning to make the sacrifice, you need to see the stories of the prophets.
Absolutely. See?
You know, I was messing with you just to see if you remembered what I said. I'm very impressed.
Oh, come on, man.
Very impressed.
Jazakallah khair. Bajan, so you know, in the 18th juz for the last, alhamdulillah, I'm doing it for 5 years now. I remember like the 1 year we spoke about Ghaddul Basar, and you know, because it's a theme.
Lowering the gaze, we solved that. All men lower the gaze now. Not a problem. Look, the thing about lowering the gaze is that I give everyone the fatwa you can look at one time. Okay. One look. Because the Prophet ﷺ said to Ali radiallahu anh, فَإِنَّ لَكَ الْأُولَى وَلَسَ لَكَ الْأُخْرَى. You can look, لا تتبع النظرة النظرة أو كما قال. You can't follow a sight after sight.
So you're allowed to have that long look?
One look. You know that one father who has 4 or 5 sons. This is not Michigan. This is a warm state in the West Coast. He told his children every time we see something that's not right and we're supposed to look down. What I mean not right is opposite gender. You see a nice, beautiful, attractive woman, right? The question is, what if it's not attractive? Still, you lower your gaze, you know? And I can't believe I said that. But say you see someone and you're supposed to lower your gaze. And so they were in the car together, and the father is sitting. Every time they see something, go, Astaghfirullah. So like everybody knows that they're supposed to lower their gaze. Even the 10-year-old son knows why they lower their gaze. Because there's 17, 16, 18, and there's 12 and 10, you know? So once they're sitting in the car at the traffic light, everyone's walking back and forth in the heat, and they're at the stoplight. And everybody, the kids and the dad says, Astaghfirullah, right? Very loud. And the kids in the back go, Dad, where? You know, so the kids are, you know, the kids, they want to be part of the istighfar, you know. But that you're right. We spoke about Ghadd al-Basar, and
subhanAllah, what's fascinating is the verses of Ghadd al-Basar, its placement, right, in the series of passages. You know, it's like the Ayat Nur is one of the most, like for me, it's one of the most intriguing verses in the entire Quran. Allah nuru samawati wal ard. Bajan, do you have your Quran in front of you?
I do.
Can you open that verse?
I can.
Verse number.
I have it in front of me.
35. Please read it for us. Read it.
Do you want to hear it like Qari Abdul Basit, or do you want to hear it like just Khaliji reciting?
You recite like Shaykh Abdullah Waheed.
All right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله نور السماوات والأرض. مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح. المصباح في زجاجة. الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم. صدق الله.
Jazakallah khair, Bajan. You know, this ayah it's about the intensity of Allah speaking about the intense light, you know, and Abdullah bin Abbas, he speaks, it's a long verse. We're not going to go into the depth of it, but in summary, there's light upon light upon light. It's just not just the light, but it's where the light's placement is. Then that light is encased in the glass that's also bright. Then the oil is put there, which is also bright. Yakadu zaytuha yudi'u. Allah is saying that the oil that is so fresh that even without the flame touching it, it has its own light.
Wow.
So the light has its light. The glass is so shiny, it has its own light. The
brightness.
oil, the brightness, yeah. Meaning Allah is expressing the glass as so bright and light that even without the light, it could light up a room. And then Allah is expressing the light of the oil, that it's so bright and so fresh that without even touching the flame, it has a light. So it's like Allah is expressing the intensity of the light. And Abdullah bin Abbas, he says, this mathalu nurihi ay mathalu nur al-mu'mini. This example is given of the light of the believer, right? I mean,
so what is this ayah called?
Ayatul Nur.
I want people to know this is the ayah of light. One of the most beautiful ayahs in the Quran. Go ahead.
You know, I mean, I'm not a big, English statements, but they have some amazing, like Rumi says something amazing about this. That one of the translations of his poem, he says, like, if everything around you seems dark, look again, you may be the light. Like that's what Allah is saying. Like, look, we know there's darkness all around us. Just look again, you may be the light. That's it. You're the light right there, right? Wow. So Allah is speaking about this light that's inside the believer, that you can get out of any situation. It can all the issues of the world, whether the issues within family, finances, beliefs, you have to develop this light within you. Where does this light come from, though? That's the most important part. And subhanAllah, I look at it a little bit differently. I mean, today we're gonna look at it a little bit differently.
I'm here. I'm listening.
And the reason why this is important is because Surah An-Nur is a surah that talks about commands. Okay, but the thing about that is, it's a person can become like us youngsters. We start thinking that Islam is a set of commands, rituals, ibadat, do this, don't do that. But in this surah of commands, Allah places in it one of the most powerful verses about light. Why? Because Bajan, you can have 20/20 vision, right? But if it's a dark room, you're not seeing no beauty. All right. So you can have light, you can have 20/20 vision. Dark room, you're not seeing nothing. So you need two lights to actually appreciate the beauty around you.
The light of the eyes, the light of the room.
The sight of your eyes and the sight of the room. Allah is speaking about that. That's the physical light. In this verse, Allah is also speaking about the spiritual sight. You need the light within you, which is the believer that needs to develop that light. But even just with that light, that yearning, Allah is saying that yearning within you, that brokenheartedness within you. But even that itself is not enough. You need now قَدْ جَاءَكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ. You need the book of Allah and the Prophet, which is Allah has sent down as a nur to mankind. So the light of your heart with the light of the Prophet, with the light of your eyes with the light around you. You can physically see things around you. You can spiritually see things around you. So this Islam is basically, if you look at it, if you summarize it, it literally changes the way we see everything around us. Islam in a nutshell. It changes the way we see everything with our physical eye in our spiritual eye. It influences our choices, priorities, our decisions. Like, that's it. It transforms the light of Allah and guidance. It transforms the way we operate and live in this world, the way we see things around us.
Wow.
And that makes a person strong. That makes a person rich. That makes a person independent of people. That the way you look at things now. So I'm not gonna, that whole idea of now the way you look at someone who's causing you pain is different. You're looking at that person as the person who's elevating in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right?
Wow.
The one who's taking money from you in sadaqah, you look at him differently. You're not looking at him taking your money, but you're looking at it with the light of Iman. He's giving you money. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just everything around you, the way you look at it. Like the people of Gaza. May Allah have mercy on all the people over there. Bring peace for them. The way they're looking at a body of their child when they're picking the body up and they're placing him in the grave, they're not looking at him just merely as a person who passed away. They're looking at this child as a badge of honor, that I'm the father of this child who's shaheed. It's a whole different way of looking at the world. The light, these two lights, Bajan, boom, they literally make you a different person. And that's why it's depressing. It's kind of depressing to be in dark rooms, right? It's like when you're in a dark place, in a physically
dark, empty, lonely space. It gives you this wahsha, this loneliness.
Exactly. So imagine that's what it does to you, right? Now imagine being like that without. We know that the Prophet gave example. That's why right after the ayah of Nur, Allah speaks about the intensity of darkness, which is also 3 layers of darkness, right? في بحر اللجي يغشاه موج من فوقه سحاب موج من فوقه من فوقه سحاب. Like there's one wave, there's another wave, and there's the top of that there's clouds. Like 3 layers of darkness, right? So now when you're I'm going to come back to what I was saying earlier. Usually what happens when you're in a dark room initially, which were a lot of us maybe before Ramadan, we're not spiritually in a very bright place. So what happens when you are when you're in the morning when it's dark and someone all of a sudden turns the light on, right? All of a sudden when someone turns the light on, at that moment, the light can become a little blinding. Like you might get a little annoyed. But because you said it just came right at you. But then you slowly realize that without that light, you can't walk out of your room. You need that light to get up. Initially, it's like, oh my God, turn the lights off, turn the lights off.
No. I think more than light is when they open the blinds or the
blinds. Close. It's too much. But then you realize how you're going to work.
Especially if you slept late, you didn't sleep well, you're trying to get some rest, you're exhausted, and someone opens the drapes, it's too much. The light of the sun is so bright. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, then you realize, like, okay, you need that light, Bajan, right? No, Bajan, I want you to chime in. Like you initially, it's a little like that. Like, so it's a little heavy, but then then you realize that you're dependent on that light for the whole day. Like,
what about someone that's kept in a dark chamber, like in a cell for so many months, as a person, someone's being persecuted, or may Allah help those who are incarcerated or in hardship. When they're kept in a dark room for like 3 months, 6 months, they do this forms of torture in other countries, in America too. And then they bring them out to light, and how that it's so dangerous. It could be blinding.
Yeah,
it could be blinding. So they have to put visors or glasses. I can see that happening where someone is in a dark space in their life for so many years, for 30 years, 10 years, months. They're in this dark space in life where they haven't read Quran, they haven't prayed, they haven't heard about the name of Allah. And now there's man, it could be heavy.
It is heavy. It's okay. That's normal. But then right away, as that person gets up, he starts appreciating that light. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, this is one thing I missed. I missed that light. You know what I'm saying? You start appreciating, because that's where your nature goes to, right? So this is basically Ayatul Nur. Then you have the ayah that speaks about the intensity of darkness. But I look at the placement of this. The placement of Ayah of Nur, right, is after a series of verses that speak about how you will develop this nur. Like, there's no rocket science when it comes to these things. Look, everyone's like, yo, I mean, like, the light is such a blessing. Amazing. May Allah bless you, right? This is subhanAllah. Thank you for explaining light this way. May Allah bless you. Now, let's speak about where Allah placed these verses. Look,
before we go to the placement, may I add something?
100%, Bajan.
I want to talk about the part where believer is something different. When this says guys made different. This person
100%.
is, like the person, like when they talk about LeBron as an athlete, right? 20 years, 21 years in the league, made different. You look at another athlete, just a freak, they call them, right? Athletic ability. Similarly,
Like
there are.
you.
I don't want people to know about my athletic ability.
Mention art.
It's not to mention an evil eye and hit me, and I won't be able to jump. So, but you're right. Like me. You might tell people all the champions I got in my field days and stuff. You want to let them know?
No, we're good. Keep going.
All right. Yeah, yeah. So in the sense that you have this ability when a believer has his own nature, and people don't understand this because sometimes even spectators who are Muslims who are watching someone go through a hardship in life, they're believers. Like someone yesterday, I was when his wife passed away, and he's crying, he's sad, but he knows the two children that are kids are in the hands of Allah. Like there's other new of contentment. It's painful going through something, but you're not alone. So Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah says something very, very nice. He said, Al-mu'minu fi dunya kal gharib. La yasta'nisu min izziha wa la yastawhishu min dhilliha. A believer in this world is like a stranger. Like it's a different person. Like what attracts people doesn't attract him. What people are looking for, he's not looking for. What everyone's chasing after, he's not chasing. When everyone's looking to get fame, he's not looking to get famous. It's different personality. Like everyone's coming to a wedding dressed up in a form to impress. This person is coming to just please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make sure the host is happy, making sure they get a gift card. There's a whole different approach to this. Every moment, every walk of this person's life, even this person's is looking at a mountain, looking at a cloud, looking at his son, looking at his daughter, is looking with the nur of Allah. وَفِي كُلِّ شَيْءٍ آيَةٌ لَهُ تَدُلُّ عَلَى أَنَّهُ وَاحِدٌ فَيَا عَجَبًا كَيْفَ يُحْسِنُ الْإِلَهَ أَمْ كَيْفَ يُجْحِدُهُ الْجَاحِدُ. Like how, everything you're looking at, how there's a Maimons here. Maimons. I have some friends who are Maimons, right? You're a business person too. You're happy. Ashabul Maimana, yeah, people of the right side, but a lot of them walk on the left side too. But with this
Yeah.
listen, you're a businessman. You think about cars, you think about parts, you think about actuators, you think about throttles. But when you hear a sound of a car, as a sheikh, but who's into cars, you know what type of car it is, you know what type of sound it is, you know what type of tuning it is, just from the sound. A believer from hearing things, seeing things, only sees Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sees akhirah, sees money, sees $1 million, something else. Loss $1 million, some other interpretation to it. Loss of a child, interpretation of sabr. Gift of a child, interpretation of shukr. So al-mu'minu fi dunya kal gharib, la yasta'nisu. He never gets overexcited by the honor. Like, oh, so many people. Like, we have over 2,069 devices. That means there's 5,000 people.
How about the angels?
50,000. Ramadan, I got to say 5 million. Ramadan.
There are 5 million people watching you today.
There's one sitting right here on my couch. Why are you laughing?
You think that angel? Let me see that couch again. You think angel will fit on that couch? Let me see.
Yeah. This is a big couch. I could probably sit 2 angels here. Why are you laughing for it? I don't know why that's
you think angels need couches? Seriously.
The angels spread their wings. The angels spread their wings.
So I'm just trying to figure out, do you think they really need a couch?
They like to sit next to me. Why not? Why would? No. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to open up the unseen world to us, right? The angels, the malaika, we would not, we like Handala. The Prophet says to Handala, he says, Ya Rasulullah, I feel like I'm different when I go home, when I go to the masjid, my iman strong, right? Story short, عافسنا الأموال والأولاد والأزواج والذريات, and this person can get in trouble. This person right here, take his name off. He said Shaykh Abdullah has an accent. Angel, okay.
Shaykh Abdullah, angel has an accent too. What accent do you think angel speaks to you in?
So every human has an angel and a shaitan.
Yeah.
My shaitan's accent is Desi accent. And my angel accent, cowboy. Cowboy was so bad. Sometimes he becomes African American too, But I know the shaitan on the left, he has that, the Desi Indian accent.
Okay, go ahead, keep going, bro.
But the reality is, let's forget the angels. Like, don't give the angels so much attention. They're paying attention to us right now. So,
Got
in the reality, so he doesn't get too excited from the honor and the names and people watching. وَلَا يَسْتَوْحِشُ مِنْ ذِلِّيَّ. Now, how would you feel if there was two people watching, right? And there were one person listening to your lectures? How would you feel? You wouldn't have that same motive. But a believer, he has so much self-contentment. One person, 10,000 people. He doesn't look for that. And then the Hassan Basri says, Lahu sha'nun walinnasi sha'nun. He said a believer, like the right translation for this, has his own swag. Its own swag. Many of our teachers, man, people think celebrities and athletes and boxers and UFC fighters have swag. Wait till you see the scholars of tafsir, the scholars of hadith of Benoria town, just Benoria town, right?
Yeah.
Where you studied. These guys, they walk and they have threats on their lives by every denomination that's not practicing the right faith in aspects, and from people from Iran, people from India, threats on these people, but they walk with so much pride. In some places, they keep the buttons open, and the security guards are like, can we stand next to you so no bullet hits you? Look at Mufti Taqi Sahab. Like the guy, he's literally an encyclopedia of knowledge. You sit with him,
simple.
So simple. He doesn't need anyone's appreciation. He doesn't want any guards next to him. Now he has to have protection because he was shot literally in daylight with bullets at his car and his security guard died. They got their swag is different.
He didn't pass away. He survived.
Okay, I thought someone died. I thought a driver or someone died.
No, it was maybe. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think someone died because I know he went for the azab for that family. So looking at this, if you ever sat with real awliya in Syria, in Pakistan, in India, friends of Allah, men and women, Mufti Sahab, وَلِلنَّاسِ شَأْنٌ لَهُ شَأْنٌ. They have their own swag. They see through the nur of Allah. So I just wanted to add that nur has to be attained, and it liberates us from the shackles of other people.
100%. May Allah bless you, Bajan. Again, we only have a few minutes left, but I think I never said this before, but check this out. Ready for this?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, the placement of the verses of nur, like the placement of this verse is right after one of the most difficult moments in the Prophet's life in the surah.
Really?
Allah in the right after the verses you can look at the verses from
of Aisha
from verse number 11 to from verse number 11 to verse number 20. Even past that, Allah speaks about all the way till verse number basically all the way till verse number 24. So from 11 to 24.
I would say 26.
Yeah, these verses, Bajan, indirectly, these verses are basically the requirement, the methodology of attaining that light that will change the perspective in the world. And in a nutshell, we already spoke about this incident that took place where the Prophet was hurt so much when someone accused our mother Aisha anha and what the Prophet went through, what Aisha anha went through, right? And so, subhanAllah, the first thing you see from that is every prophet had to develop these three qualities. And from this story, you see these three qualities being developed. Every believer has to develop these three qualities. You know what the three qualities are, Bajan?
I want to hear them.
First quality is Inna Ibrahim la halimun. First, you have to develop the quality of tolerance. You develop the quality of just withstanding the pressures of the world, whichever way it comes. Now imagine Aisha anha, an innocent woman, and the Prophet being the Prophet of Allah, hearing all these people saying all this stuff and about his wife, but you have to have hilm. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ وَالْحِلْمُ بِالتَّحَلُّمِ, right? Knowledge is learned through learning, and tolerance from practicing forbearance and practicing tolerance. So you have this element of you really want Allah the nur of Allah to come in your heart. You really want that? All right. The wound is the place where the light enters your heart. That's literally where Rumi says that. The wound is the place where the light enters you, right? Iqbal, he says, Tamanna abru ki ho agar gulzar hasti mein, to kanton mein ulaj kar zindagi karne ki khu kar le. He says, if you long for respect, if you long for that pleasure of living with the nur of Allah, then you should get accustomed to living in entangled thorns of this world. You should get used to it. It's not a big deal, brother.
Mufti Sahib, I'm going to say something. When you say an Urdu poem, don't say it so fast. Say it slow. Allow me to react. I'm trying to digest it. You know, when you eat something good, you eat slowly. You don't just shove the cake in your mouth, right? So I want you to say it one more time, if you don't mind. I want to hear it one more.
He says, "Tamanna abru ki ho agar gulzar hasti mein, to kaanton mein ulझ kar zindagi karne ki khu kar le." Like,
wow.
You know, it's like, if you actually want, this is an honor. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ نُورٍ. If Allah does not give you that nur, Allah said all over again, 3 times in one passage, Allah is using the statement in different ways. لَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ وَلَوْلَا, over and over again, right? Why? If it wasn't for the mercy and the grace of Allah. Verse number 10, لَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ. Verse number 14, وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ. Then again, verse number 20, وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ. Allah, it's not a coincidence, Bajan. It is, if Allah is saying, if it wasn't for the grace, benevolence, and the mercy of Allah, just fill in the blanks. Literally fill in the blanks after that. So you actually, to get that mercy and the grace of Allah, the first thing that you see from the story is just the element of, you have to have that tolerance. The second thing, what happens when you have that tolerance? You know what happens after that, Bajan?
What happens?
Once you take the pressure of this world, from inside you start getting broken, man. Aisha was broken from inside. The Prophet was broken. Every Prophet was awwah. Awwah means from inside you're just broken, right? The Prophet is hurt.
It's different being broken and being depressed. They were broken. They saw a lot of pain.
They saw a lot of pain. The Prophet saw a lot of pain, man. Bajan, we know that. We can talk about his pain forever. He saw a lot of pain, and he's just, that pain is basically setting you up for an eternal gain. Like, what you're gonna get out of this?
Wow.
You're gonna think back and say it was completely worth it, because you're gonna get the light of Iman after.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
And we're not supposed to get numb to the pain.
Yeah.
We're not. There's some people, they compartmentalize the pain and they get numb to it, by the sense like, like they don't have a reaction to it. It's not human nature to become numb to so much pain, and to take a tranquilizer yourself by using other supplements. Take your medication, take this when painful times come. But that pain is supposed to make you react in a way that brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
100%. I mean, it's, at the very least, it makes you cry. I mean, the Prophet ﷺ, in 1 year, he buried Zainab, 9th Hijri. He buried Zainab at the beginning of the year. Then he had the journey of having the baby Ibrahim in the 9th year, that roller coaster. You have like Zainab passes away, he buries her. But eldest daughter. But you don't see a hadith about talking about the Prophet crying so loud. He just said, he says, Alqi ilayna, he said, Ash'arniha ya iya, like, give her my cloth and put her in this cloth, right? But Jan, check this out, roller coaster, bro. Then you have Ibrahim, he gets so happy when he has Ibrahim in the 9th year of Hijri. He comes out to the masjid and he says, Allah has blessed me with a child, and wasammaytu bi ismi bi Ibrahim, I've given him the name Ibrahim. So that child at the time of pain is so comforting. Like Hussein for me was very comforting. Right? Then a few months later in Sha'ban.
Did you have your child after Abdul Rahman?
No. Hussein was a few years old, so he was always with me. But we had a baby a month later. We had Aisha in our family, so that newborn helped us heal from the pain of losing Abdul Rahman, right? Then
the baby, Shaykh Abdul Wahab's baby.
A year later, we had a boy, Shaykh Abdul Wahab's baby, Abdul Rahim. And mashallah, like, we have a new Abdul Rahim in our house. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it gives you that comfort. But then the Prophet, Allah had to put him through the most struggle. May Allah protect us. Just a few months after he had Ibrahim, he loses his daughter Kulthum in Sha'ban. Now he's burying her. And there's only a few narrations about the Prophet crying at that grave. And it's like Anas bin Malik, he says, رَأَيْتُ النَّبِيَّ جَالِسًا وَعَيْنَاهُ تَدْمَعَانِ. That's it. Like, his eyes were just tearing like this, وَعَيْنَاهُ تَدْمَعَانِ. So then in that year, Salma sees the Prophet playing with.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. Of course, bro. Keep talking, bro. We want you to talk.
No, I got to leave in a minute, but you
have to wait till the end.
No. When you love someone and you see them cry, how painful is that?
It's very painful.
so painful. I just want you to understand that because, the Sahaba, like when I watched you guys, my brothers, my parents crying, it's different than when you cry yourself. When you're crying, you're venting and that's therapy for you. But when you're watching someone else cry, it's even more painful for you sometimes. Sometimes their pain causes you more pain. And I can see that Sahaba, they were watching the Prophet weep. And I imagine what Abu Bakr was going through watching his beloved cry. Like, I don't think, we can't tolerate each other crying because we have such relationship. But I don't know how the Sahaba were able to swallow their emotions watching the Prophet weep. It was too much.
That's beautiful that you said that, because Salma radiallahu anha walks into the room and she sees the Prophet playing with his son Hussein. We say grandson, son, same thing. Playing with him, and she's like, oh, mashallah, like the same year of grief, the Prophet is happy, joking, playing with the son, and then she walks back in, and then the Prophet is crying, and he has a small, dirt in his hand, small piece of dirt in his hand, Hadith in Ahmad. And she saw him playing and laughing, and all of a sudden, she sees him crying. So now what you just said, when you see your beloved happy, you get so happy. When you see your beloved crying, it causes you even more pain than even your beloved. And then so Salma asked, Ya Rasulullah, what is this? I just walked out and you started crying. He said, Inni lamma farihtu bihi wa huwa ala sadri yal'abu id atani Jibreel عليه الصلاة والسلام وناولني الطينة التي يقتل عليها الحسين فلذلك بكيت. He says, I was playing with him and Jibreel came to me and told me that Hussein will die like this, shaheed. That's why I'm crying, right? So that awah is developed in you. So then the next thing that's developed in you is the munib part, right? That in Ibrahim halimun awahu munib part, where it's like now you take that pain and you internalize it and you just cry in front of Allah and you turn to Allah. When you bottle these three energies up, Allah gives you this beautiful light of iman that you withstand the pressure of the world. Hazrat Aisha did that. You grieve within you, your heart is broken. How did this even happen? Right? Allah is saying, "La tahsabuhu sharrun lakum, bal huwa khairun lakum." At the beginning of this entire passage, Allah is saying, speaking about the most painful thing that could happen to a woman in her life, that she's accused of haram. She's a wife of the Prophet ﷺ. Allah, when He starts this passage, He says, "La tahsabuhu sharrun lakum, bal huwa khairun lakum." Don't for 1 second think this is something bad for you. Rather, this is good for you. But then I can speak about, that's crazy the way Allah brings that part up. This is good. How is it good for me? Because the product
think about getting accused, the Prophet's wife getting accused, the city being disturbed, the Prophet being disturbed. Allah saying in the end, it's okay.
It's good. It's cool. Wow. I got you. Allah is trying to say, relax, I got you, man. You're exactly. You know what I'm saying? This is the greatest manifestation of that verse. Like, okay, whenever you look back and say, you know what, Allah, don't worry, inshallah, there's something you may not like, Allah bring khair in it. Allah is saying that at the beginning of these verses. Why? Because at the end of the tolerance and the brokenheartedness, you get to turn to Allah more, man, and you get the light of iman. But then we'll end with that. It's like, then you basically start enjoying that so much that you actually don't care about what people say about you anymore.
Yeah.
You just care. You just think about what Allah thinks of you. And you know that Urdu poet. It's I recited this like 2 years ago. It just comes to my mind right now because that's how the nur of Allah comes into your heart. Is that once you get these three qualities, and then you develop that brokenheartedness, and you cry in front of Allah. Like when Hazrat Aisha Abu Bakr told Hazrat Aisha, go thank the Prophet. She's like, Allah is the one that did this for me. Like, you're just munib, right? Like I'm only thanking Allah. Why should I thank anybody else, right?
Yeah.
So Hakim Akhtasab Rahmatullah, he says something very interesting. He says, अब इश्क में उनकी खातिर हम आँखों से लहू बरसाएंगे अब इश्क में उनकी खातिर हम आँखों से लहू बरसाएंगे जब दिल से उन्हें हम चाहेंगे वो खुद ही करम फरमाएंगे आता है मुझे नालों में मजा, ए जाहिद नादा तंज ना कर। आता है मुझे नालों में मजा, ए जाहिद नादा तंज ना कर। जब इश्क है उनका दिल में मेरे, फिर क्यों ना हमें तर पाएंगे। जाएगी कभी आहे दिल की, बालाए फलक तार्श बरी। जाएगी कभी आहे दिल की, बालाए फलक तार्श बरी। ये दर्द मोहब्बत के नाले, कुछ रंग तो अपना लाएंगे। ये दर्द मोहब्बत के नाले, कुछ रंग तो अपना लाएंगे. It's beautiful, man.
Mufti Saab, I have no words. I have no words. Can you translate this? Please translate this.
He says that, in the ishq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and out of love for him, because of all that's happening, then we're going to shed tears in front of him. And if we really truly want him and our hearts are broken toward yearning for him, then he will grace us. Fadlullahi alaykum wa rahmatuh. He will grace us and he will honor us by also wanting us as well. But the desire has to come from us first. We have to take the first step. And then he says, after that, you start then you start enjoying the moments that you shed tears in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's like, when the love of Allah and people break my heart and going through difficulties of life, when I'm going through that pain and I have the love of Allah and His Prophet in my heart, then why would I not be restless? How can I be at peace living at home when I know I'm so far from Medina? How can it's like a mother who lost her child. Like, how can she be at peace? She wants to be with her child in Jannah. Like, I'm not at peace in this world. I'm in transition in this world. He's like, then he says, a person can say, oh, you've been crying for so long. You've been asking Allah for so long, and things are not working out the way you said you want. You've been crying for children. You've been trying to get married. You've been trying to release someone from prison for so long. He says, "Jayegi kabhi aaye dil ki." One day, the sounds of my chest and my heart and these tears will go past the arsh of Allah. One day, ye dard o muhabbat ke nale. One day, these cries out of pain and love for Allah, kuch rang to apna laenge, will bring some manifestation of victory, some manifestation of help. So this, yet we say about the people of Gaza, ye dard o muhabbat ke nale. One day, it's just, we have Allah with us. We're crying in pain. We're crying out of love for Allah, not because we are questioning Allah's decisions. But one day, after we cry enough, and the entire ummah keeps crying, wallahi, we have Allah in our side. Kuch rang to apna laenge. These tears and this love for Allah and this pain in the heart will show itself and manifest itself in this world and of course in the hereafter. May Allah bless all of you. Inshallah, my brother had to leave. Now I have to leave as well. It was a beautiful session today. 18 juz. Inshallah, I'll be traveling tomorrow for a day, so I won't be here, but inshallah I'll be on live. Jazakallah khair everybody for tuning in. We appreciate your time. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.